I'm going to share my thoughts on all these three keyboards and which one I'm going to keep to use with my Mac setup. They do all come in slightly different packaging. For an example, the large one, it comes with most of the time it comes with a dongle built in the package. What I noticed on the smaller ones, the mini version, it doesn't come with a dongle, so you have to purchase a separate one. So in this example, I have the unifying one, which came with this MX keyboard. The new one, I believe it comes with the newer version of the Bolt. Also in the packaging, the Mac version, you usually find a USB 2C USB-C cable like this one. And on the one that made for Mac and Windows, they usually do come with a USB-C to USB-A cable. The Mac version usually doesn't come with a dongle. When it comes to the size of the keyboard, as you can see, this is a full-size keyboard, and these are 75%, I believe. The other key difference is the actual key size. Usually you don't notice it until you start using between these two. The keys on the both mini versions, they are much smaller, especially if you have larger fingers. These ones are much better, larger size, very similar to a MacBook Pro keyboard size. So typing on this is definitely a nicer experience than these two. Especially if you're switching back and forth between a MacBook Pro and a keyboard, I find I mistype sometime on these smaller keyboards. With this one, I never had an issue. Having said that, I will be keeping this keyboard as my main keyboard. I will explain later on in the video why I decided to do that instead of using this keyboard. And also the numpad, I find it very useful. I don't know why. I find this numpad is very useful, and also having the arrow keys separate, not like where you can see here. This is much better configuration. So the Mac version, it's the gray color here, as you can probably see, it's much brighter version of gray, whereas in this one they are much darker, as you can see. And also this part here on the Mac version is more close to black, whereas in this one it is very close to a gray color. Other very useful thing to know is on the MX Keys Mini, the letters, they are much fainted. What I mean by that is it's very difficult to see the letters, but on the other two, as you can see, the letters are much brighter. So I tend to not to turn on backlighting for these keyboards, not much as on this one. So I'm getting a little bit more battery on this side just by turning off the backlighting when I really don't need it. I have the gray version of the keyboards. They do come in different colors. So when it comes to connectivity, they all support 3 devices connected. You can switch between 3 devices, and they all have Bluetooth as one connection method. And depending on when you buy this old model, for example this MX large one, it might either come with a unifying connection or the newer Bolt. For my desk setup, I'm using the Bolt connector. I'm not using Bluetooth. I use the Bolt connector together with my MX Master Mouse. The battery life, I think it's depending on how much of the backlighting I'm using. For example, on this keyboard, I had to use backlighting more, so I had to charge more often than on these two. But having said that, they kind of lasted around 2 months with the backlight for me. And even when the battery is low, it just doesn't die straight away. It flashes a red light, and then if you turn off the backlight, you can still continue working the full day. Price on these items, I do find them on sale time to time. So I put the link in the description where you can check the price. But these are the prices that I paid, I believe. I'll try to put that as an overlay on this. I've been using this for almost a year, more than a year to be honest, switching back and forth time to time. So as a Mac user, I chose to stay with the MX Mac version, the mini version. They do have the Mac version for the large, but for me, I decided to go with this mini one. I'll explain why. One of the main reason for that is the key layout. This one has the correct native Mac layout. So you can see all the key layouts are very similar to what you see on MacBook Pro or any Apple keyboard. This one has the compatible kind of layout. But the most annoying thing for me is these keys. So you can see here, the control and the function is swapped on this keyboard. It was annoying me time to time, especially when I'm going back and forth between my laptop keyboard and this keyboard when I connect it to my screen. So that's one very big decision factor for me to keep this. The second point is the size. Even though I like this keyboard, the typing experience on this keyboard is much superior to what you get on this one. For me at least, having this separate up and down keys, and also the key sizes are bigger. But when you use with the mouse, I find I'm constantly getting shoulder pain when you use with the mouse. On this keyboard, as you can see, you have to put your mouse way too far to the right side, and it's putting a lot of strain on my shoulders. In my case at least, I was getting a lot of pain on my neck and shoulders. Since I moved to this keyboard, I don't get that kind of pain anymore. So this, I think, is much suitable for people who are using the keyboard and mouse for their workflow. But if you're using a keyboard like 90% of the time, or very heavy keyboard user and using very less mouse, probably try this one out, because this is very good typing experience, but this is actually overall better fit, especially when you're using with the mouse. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you find it useful. If you find it useful, please like and consider subscribing so I can make more useful video.